Objective, please. Gotcha.
All right, so basically, I didn't print it out or anything. Uh,
Oh,
it,
it's right fucking there.
it does give you an idea, for
Anybody else?
example, of what the
No?
part of what the reading written test will look like. I do have a fake test starting next week. Yeah, your test is on Thursday next week, so Monday. Monday we will. Yeah. Monday I will talk about the test and you will take a fake test. This is just part of it. This is not going to be on the test. It just gives you an idea. So go ahead. There are two slides. Let me see. Photos.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
you can take down
look at the sentences and think about how would you finish each sentence, or how would you complete each sentence? Because it's
yeah, a lot of big money games in 2015.
because it's something. This is how it might look like on the
Yeah,
written
it's on the
test.
left
Try
of the
not to
screen.
use your book. See if you
See
can remember.
It's like great percent. Now you're gonna play it, check. It looks good on PC. I think it looked good on
So
console.
we have number one, number two, number three,
Really,
and
really
number
impressive.
four.
Especially the year. God damn. Especially it's smooth. Almost smoother than Just Cause grappling and shit. That says a lot. Nice to be.
All right, a cognitive milestone is.
Ion launcher perch. Hold that. What?
Oh wait, I don't.
This?
So actually, I'm going to show you this slide. Did everybody take a photo
Here and me, man.
or jot down what you think the answers are? Because I'll be doing the same thing for the next slide. Then I'll show you the answer. So let me go back to number one here, slide number
Oh,
one.
you said you brought on a C. My bad.
Either photo or pick out paper. I have paper in there if you need.
But the one that KK likes, that combat's way different. Like it looks like a Street Fighter type combat game. Very different.
This is
Just different.
you might recognize some of this.
They changed developers though, right? Something. That's why this one was good. Shit.
Trying to find where the back had
It's a
nothing
Sucker
on
Punch,
it.
right? Who made Ghost of Tsushima? And it's the same engine as fuck. God damn it, motherfucker! That way, thank you. Just Cause 3. Mad Max, I mean. Did I see live nudes? No.
Not a lot here. But
Batman, can you please?
not a lot here, but if you need paper, I can even make it.
Sweet fucking Jesus. The free flow system. I don't know what you mean.
I saw a lot of you taking photos. But if anybody needs to write down
Do I have to play that in Stream Street?
the jot.
Or should I let people click on it and guess?
Because
Cryptic weirdo.
I see some of you have your
Not duck, you know that? I thought you were trolling.
devices where you can write. Do you want?
Match between me and Panda.
What you
Fuck, don't
want?
you
I
get
thought you were doing the phone.
I think I was just
Anybody
whining
else?
to you too much or something, I bet.
I don't have a lot left.
You get, what's the free flow system? This is kind of free. This game, the combat's pretty open.
That's one, right? Okay, screen.
What do you want me to do?
Okay, I only have two left.
Can I grab on the ground?
All right. So, go ahead and jot down what you think. All you have to do is just
Damage, right? Yeah.
write down the number you think It is, really, that's all you're doing here. You don't have to write the whole thing. You just,
Okay. Hold on.
if you think it's one, just, do
My
one.
fight back.
And
Let me
then,
see if I can fill the
then
fear
one.
meter up.
And if it makes it easier for you, so that you don't only have numbers, it could also be A, B, C, D for you, if you want to write it A, B, C, D.
Nope, no fear meter. It must be when you're stealth killing or something.
Because you will not be telling me that. You will actually finish the sentence.
Hey, Panda,
So don't say something, if I say a cognitive milestone is, don't say
combat in
3,
this game?
4.
Yeah, I like that.
No, you're gonna.
What's the other type of combat? Like linear?
You don't have to say it now. This is for you to make a note of what you think it is. And then we have, when we detect something, we
Fuck you too.
preparing and taking the university exam was a big
friends always calls me
for
my
me.
dad. He goes, let me talk to Alfred.
My family blank
Right back.
in the Philippines for
Consistency
one
is key.
more week.
So be consistent. Sometimes you don't want to hear a hey, how are you? Good. No complaints. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I don't like pandas. They scare me. I throw this batarang. Just sitting in that chair, man. You're getting it.
Did everybody write down what? Did everybody choose
Level up.
what they think? Again, you don't have to write the whole thing.
What should I do?
You can do, I'll just show you on the.
Holy shit, that's a big perk tree. Jesus Christ.
If you want to, you can do something like this. Or.
Oh, I'll pin it. My bad. Do you want me to play it? Straight. Checks. What do I do? What should I fucking upgrade first? Traversal? Nah.
Alright, next slide.
Kinda though. I don't give a fuck about sliding. Or do I have these already?
I only like Korean food because I haven't tried other food. Is an example of.
Play it and then answer me which fucking skills to put on.
I enjoy
Your brain is
out with my friends on the weekend.
Hurts.
A person who is
I have display capture on. No wonder why.
Worries about a lot of things in life.
So what's going on, Panda?
According to the reading passage,
Chilling?
if you remembered this, according to the reading passage on page 24-25, the Mind Sports Olympiad
I don't know what game this is.
R belongs test
Row?
focuses.
I don't know.
The first step in the memory journey is,
It has to be Saints Row.
and according to Conley's TED Talk video about kids lying.
Never played it. Is that the one people tell me? Is that the Japanese GTA? You thought it was GTA 4? Why? It looks nothing like it. I thought it was Rumbleverse.
That's not Sleeping Dogs by any means.
This isn't Sleeping Dog? Look, it's Saints Row, isn't it? It's goofy. That is
not Sleeping Dogs.
What game is it?
I have no clue.
My Panda might be right. I know. I never played it, so. Yeah, I know. KK, everyone's been telling me like the last week to play it. It's like, damn. I guess I missed it. Is this the same one street? You animal? Get the fuck out of here right now.
Who needs more time?
No wonder why you like
Again,
that.
you don't have to write the whole thing out. Just.
Plus, you don't like zombie games, Street.
When we do the answers, you will see the same thing.
Bastard? I can't believe no one got that. So I was right.
I'll tell you what, for the first slide, here we go. Here are the answers.
Yeah,
All right, let's see if you remember.
Like mode or something.
A cognitive milestone is what?
I guess, which one's newer? The graphics look pretty
A
good.
critical moment in the growth of a child's life.
Fist of damage.
When we detect something, we
I don't give a shit.
notice or discover it. Preparing and taking the university exam was a big challenge.
I'll say sorry, Panda. I don't know what it was.
My family
Don't say sorry to me, man.
decided to stay in the Philippines for one more week.
I don't know. Yeah, if that's 3 remastered, then K didn't play it. KK didn't play it.
Milestone is the key word there,
I
so
don't know why I never played the
critical.
Saints Row games. Another one. Never played them. And they look fun.
All right, so now for the next slide.
I think I just look like I get bored with them.
Does anybody need more time?
Bullshit. Are they rated T? And this green mean I have these shits?
I only like Korean food because I haven't tried other foods. Is an example of
How am I like 10% in this game, but I'm all perked up here.
a bias.
Interesting.
Just a
I didn't
bias.
cheat.
Observer cannot be the answer because it would have to be actor, observer, bias. All right, I enjoy
Never mind.
going out with my friends on the
No idea.
weekend.
God
All
damn,
right,
this
worries a
is-
lot about things in life. What type of person is this?
That's why it's not rated T, because not many teens would be like grasp all this shit.
Anxious.
I-
All right, according to the reading passage, if you remember this, the Mind Sports Olympiad, what was all about?
Got it. You can get this one. At Plus
Oh, you
Superstar.
remember already? Kind of ironic, I think.
Weapon Steel.
The test memorization ability. Which, so in the same reading, the first step in the memory journey is
I feel like I need what's gadget tech.
before you go on your memory journey, the first thing you need to do is what? Imagining a familiar place. Most people use their house, but
What's
it
that
could be
gel do again?
anything.
Lots of
Anything that you
bugs.
know really, really well. All right.
Holy shit.
Do you remember anything about Kang Lee when he talked about children who lie?
Ninja dust.
Because according to the TED Talk video,
Damn, there's a lot of fucking things in this game.
what do you remember? These types of questions will not be on the test. They're not going to ask you about things in the book or a video you watched.
I have to do.
But
I have to rescue Catwoman, man.
adults are not good at detecting children lies.
See,
They get lost looking around in this game.
All right. How many of you perfect score? -1.
Yeah.
Oh wow, -1. There you go. -2. And
Come on, Buzz.
because of 8, 9, and 10, -3.
Perfect.
Okay.
What little girl
And then that's it. I'm not going to add.
for her strapping dark knight?
All right, we're going to watch. Okay, if you look at Unit 3, you'll notice that the theme is the environment.
Cleavage.
So let's watch this video called The Beauty. That's what it's called. Animated, just so you know, animated short film. And all these,
Robin sucks more though.
oh, BAFTA, win a
I'd
BAFTA
like to be her. I wish
Student Film Award.
easier. Sweet.
No, BAFTA is
Very fluid.
it's the British Academy
Takedown.
Awards.
What?
And this film won
Oh, yeah.
Student Film Award, short-lived.
What a pair you make. Together, you're just competent enough to survive.
I think ad.
This game. They made her and Ethan Hawke.
And I
made,
need to
Maya
close this.
Stranger Things looks just like.
All right. Sorry about that. All right. So, what did you think about the video? What's your opinion? Even though we know that everything in the video was not real, we know that the problem is real. So what did you think about the video? Any opinions? Did you think it was well done? What about the message it was trying to give? Yeah, he actually didn't say it, but we all know what the message was. Do you think plastics are a problem? Yes, and I think I showed the other class, but not this class. Starbucks now offers you a choice: plastic straws or plastic straws made from plants. And I actually have one that's down in my office. And the other class, I actually had them pass it around and they could feel it. Have you guys seen that when you've gone to get your coffee? Yeah. My wife likes iced coffee, so I always get the plant-based. All right. So how much plastic do you use every day? Even though it's going to last for a long time, then I'm using this. Do you use, who here does not use a lot? Yeah, you have to, it's something to think about. And is it important to reduce our use of plastics? I think we all know the answer to that, yes. And what do you think the goal of this video was? Do you think it was to make us feel guilty or to convince us to change our habits? You think it's to change our habits? But did anybody feel a little guilty when they saw the end of the video? As the camera was going up and you saw all that trash? Yeah, so there's a little guilt in there, making you think, you know what, maybe I should change my habits a little bit. All right. Now, Unit 3. All right. Before we start. All right, so before we do start, I need to make one thing clear. Everything that we are going to be doing in this part of Unit 3, so we won't be able to do all of Unit 3 because on Monday is talking about the test, answering quick questions about tests, having the practice test, not on the test. Nothing in Unit 3 will be on your written test. This is optional for me. But because the theme is in environment, I thought it would be good to have. So again, do not, and I repeat, do not study anything in Unit 3. Okay? Unit 1, Unit 2, yes. Preview, yes. If it's a quiz online, study it. Remember this? You will find the grammar on the test. So, I mean, I have some copies in here, but also in the class folder, you will see class PowerPoints. And in the class PowerPoints folder, you will see the, the PowerPoints for the class, including optional PowerPoints like this. But you will also see a folder in there. I think it's called anyways, that folder in class PowerPoints is for this, where you have the PDF file and the PowerPoint that I used for that class. And when we come near the end, I'll show you exactly where it is. Because I know it's getting time to study for all exams, not just this one. All right, changing planet. Again, you don't have to study this, so don't worry about like grammar or anything like that. I'm gonna just go to, because I don't teach this, I guess I'm gonna have to read it. All right, in early December 1952, the weather in London was very cold. In their houses, people lit fires to stay warm. On the streets, they took cars, buses, or trains to work. There was a little wind, so the cold air stayed over the city. Pollution from the fires and vehicles also stayed in the air. When people woke up in the morning on December 5th, they saw thick fog. There's an example of a fog. It's thick. I don't know if it was thick like 1952. All right, Londoners had experienced thick fogs for hundreds of years. These thick fogs were called peace stupors because their color was like soup made from yellow peas. But the Great Smog of 1952 was the worst one ever. It was so thick and so dark that drivers could not see the lights of other cars. People walked into each other on the streets and nobody could see the sun. By Tuesday, December 9th, the fog was gone, but its effects continued. The air quality had been so bad that thousands of people died and about 100,000 became sick. Luckily, not all of the effects were negative. Soon after the Great Smog, the government created the Clean Air Act. This law helped people breathe easier by reducing the level of pollution across the country. All right. First, before we get into the what does each word mean, but you don't have to study these words, don't worry. Here's a couple of questions. Take a look at the questions. Look at the reading to help you. How did the smog build up in the city? What had Londoners long compared the fog to? What were three effects of the Great Smog? What is one positive thing that came from the Great Smog? Of course, you can look at the reading to help you in answering each of these, because the answers are in the reading. I can tell you that number one, it's a combination of, let me see, one, two, three. A combination of three things. Of course, number three, it tells you that it asks what are the three effects. Sorry, what were the three effects? Okay. You think, okay, how did the smog build up in the city? A combination of, did anybody find it in the reading? I said it was a combination of three things. I'll tell you what, because everybody did their smart attendance, right? And you don't have to raise your hand for points. I'm gonna give you guys like, all of you like 5 points, so. If you want to, so you don't have to keep doing this, if you want to move your desk so that you actually can look at the screen, that's fine. So that you can be right next to her, and then you're not doing this. All right. The combination of what? Three things led to the fog. The weather was, no, the weather, not she. The weather was cold. So we have cars, trains, buses, trucks, all of these cause. What do these cause? They use them to go to work, but what, by using them, what does it cause, even nowadays? Air pollution. All right, was there any wind? If you look at the reading, was there any wind? Yep, almost no wind, so. A combination of cold weather, no wind, and pollution. So what had Londoners long compared the fog to? They had a nickname for it. Pea souper. Why? It looked like it looked like soup made from yellow peas. Pea soup. All right. And what were three effects of the Great Smog? So could drivers see the lights of other cars? Could people see others walking down the street? No. Did people die? Well, yeah, people did, thousands. Oops. Drivers could not see other cars. People walked into each other. Nobody could see the sun. People died. 100,000 became sick. And I'm sorry, but well, that was the easiest one. What was the positive effect? And that was the Clean Air Act. All right. Any questions? All right. Take a look at the reading. And this is the part of the unit where do you understand what each word means? Vocabulary words that you don't have to study. So don't worry. I think I'll give you like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So, quality describes how good or bad something is. A rule that people in the country must follow. What are the law? A situation is one that is bad or that has a bad effect. Oops, negative. A person who created something, made it happen or exist. If a person experienced something that happened to him or her, okay. If dust, smog, or fog is thick, it is hard to see through it. People use vehicles to travel from one place to another. Something that makes the air or water dirty is pollution. The The effects of an action are what happens as a result of it. And the level of something like pollution is how much of it there is. All right. Using the vocabulary, what is one of the best things that you have experienced? Let us know. What's one of the best things you have experienced? Anybody like to share one of the best things? Think about it. Nobody would like to share one of the best things they have experienced. Hopefully, we'll get somebody or some students to share because there's more than just this. What is something you can or would like to create? Either you can create it or you would like to create it. I guess you can have a conversation in your group then. You don't have to tell me about the other students. And we'll go back to number one. You can just talk amongst your group. If you want to join another group, you can. Again, normally I would say when your group's ready, let me know, but don't worry. I'll walk around the room and listen. So then the whole class doesn't have to hear it. Just what is one of the best things you have experienced? Talk amongst yourselves in the group. Maybe. Maybe it might be easier to sit here so you can look at the screen. But if a student said something interesting and you want me to know, I'll come to you. Interesting here, you really say anything. Travel. I heard some people say that. No, it's not. Anything interesting so far? Experience like traveling, travels. Well, for me, of course, getting married. Probably. How about anything interesting? Anybody say anything interesting? Ever travel, travel, travel. Really, I remember you have to wait. You already. Yeah, I did it too, but in America, you don't have to do it. I spent 4 years. I would cook. All right. What is something you can or would like to create? Talk about it in the group. Either you can create it or there's something you would really like to create it. Again, you're just talking in the group. If anybody in a group says something interesting that they would like to create or can create. Okay, how about this one is interesting. A negative situation in your life, how did you overcome it? Don't worry, positive is next. Oh, and because this is what's the positive thing here is that you actually overcame this, even though it was negative. All right, how about this? What is one example of a positive effect in your life? Hey, just talk about a positive effect in your life. And this is the last one. After this, we're back to the book. Everybody was talking positive. I would think there would be more talking. I say go back to getting married was, was a great effect on my life. That's one thing. It's not the only one, right? Because I'm sure everybody here has more than one, and so this is just asking about one example. Anything interesting in this? $1,000. How about in list of anything interesting? Then we say anything. But other than that, travel again. Travel is always it's always a good effect. All right, back to the book. All right, this is, I'm gonna speak close. Okay, words that are commonly used together are called collocations. Collocations. But these are words that are commonly used together. So with the words in blue, super easy. Water or air pollution. Pollution. Pollution level. These are words that are commonly used together. So water pollution, air pollution, pollution level. A. Again, this is the blue word, right? This is blue. What type of effect? A negative effect, because that's one of the words in blue. Fog or clouds? Thick. Again, these are common, yeah, like positive, but it would also be not true. Common words that are used together are called collocations. And they keep telling the English. Okay. And of course, this is the grammar, which you don't have to study. I keep saying that because I don't want anybody studying anything from Unit 3. Okay, I'll say this so you can see the Korean, because even Korean has this. The passive, or the passive voice. Is that the correct use? The passive? The passive or passive voice is formed by using be plus the past participle of the main verb. All right, past participle. You learned that with present perfect. And I think we also did past perfect, if I'm not mistaken, or is that in this unit? But the point is, the present perfect, those are the verbs that use the past participle. Let me double check here. Every book usually has a list. Yep. As you can see, any regular verb, meaning a verb in the past that ends in ed, the past participle is also ed. However, if you go to 182, there's a list of every irregular verb in the book. And then the column 3 is the past participle of those verbs. So irregular verbs will sometimes change. For example, was, was verb becomes been. I have been. All right, so yeah, pollution is caused by vehicles. So is the be form. The past participle of cause is cause. People are affected by pollution, the same thing, be form, and affected. All right, this is a long one, so I usually read from the slide. You're not supposed to be doing this, but to turn an active sentence into a passive one, the direct object of the active verb becomes the subject of the passive verb. For this reason, verbs that do not take a direct object usually cannot be passive. You can add the subject of the active verb to the passive sentence using after by as an agent. All right. So we had pollution causes many problems. That is an active voice, but many problems are caused by pollution. So they're showing you how everything changes here. So the subject comes first, then you have the passive voice, and then you have the agent. So this is passive. Passive is you sometimes people will say it, but it's more common in formal written English than in informal spoken. That's basically what it comes down to. So here we have a couple of exercises. So read the beginning of the conversation. Who here is using the passive voice? Either Carlos or Sophia. Sophia. All right, let's listen. And it says, here's the rest of the conversation. Just circle and correct the answers. Listen. Okay, we're just gonna do this. What do you hear? Yeah. What do you hear? Oh.
I didn't know that London used to have bad pollution. Did you?
Actually, yes. I was told about the Great Smog by a friend.
Was he living there when it happened?
No way. He's the same age as us.
Have you ever experienced bad pollution?
There was a lot of pollution in my city last year. A law was passed by the government, and people were told not to drive their cars for a week.
Wow. What happened?
The law worked. The level of pollution was reduced a lot.
Good. I bet many people were unhappy about not driving, though.
All right, so a law was passed by the government, and people were told not to drive their cars for a week. So that's passive, both of them. Wow. What happened? He would never say what was happening. The law worked. The level of pollution was reduced a lot. Oh, good. Okay, so, and let's see. I'm gonna let you guys go a little early, but so take a look at the words in the box. Water pollution means the water in the area is not. You're using the water. The words in the box below. Clean. If a place has smog, the air is dusty. It has air pollution. A place with a noise pollution problem can be very loud. Places that never have a light pollution problem. Yep. So that means, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so one word was not used. I think. What's next? No. And you might do this, and then you got any group send me the link already for the products service page. I didn't check the class, so, but I had, I've gotten 2 links. Nobody. So after this, you guys. Well, I know that your group is not here, but the rest of you. Or actually, we can do something fun after this. All right. Listen to the first part of this interview. Then number in what order does she talk about these? What is the order?
Our guest today is Dr. Eva Rivera. She's going to discuss extreme weather events. Welcome, Dr. Rivera.
Thank you.
First, could you explain what an extreme weather event is?
Of course. When the weather is much worse than usual, we call it an extreme weather event, or EWE. Often, these events cause a lot of damage. There are several ways the weather could be worse than usual. For example, the weather event may be out of season. Snow in Canada in January would probably not be an EWE, but a lot of snow in July probably would be. Or the weather could be more powerful than expected. For instance, a small tornado that causes little damage would not be an extreme weather event. But a huge tornado that causes millions of dollars of damage would be. Or the weather event could be something that usually doesn't happen in a place. To give an example, many parts of Australia are very dry, so a serious flood there would be an extreme weather event. Finally, an extreme weather event could last longer than normal. It gets hot in the summer, of course. If very hot weather lasts for days, we call it a heat wave. Short heat waves are common. If the temperature remains high for weeks, that would be an EWE.
Extreme weather event. What was the first extreme weather event she used as an example? Snowstorm. Really, really heavy one. Then? Tornado. Has anybody ever seen one? I've seen it because I served for 4 years in the Coast Guard. I've seen water spouts. You guys know what water spouts are? Tornado on the water. So it's going around and on and on. It's the same thing except water. So you never want to get close to it. All right, then what did she talk about? Floods. And then the heat wave. All right, let's listen to the second part and then we'll end there. And maybe if we have time, Kahoot. But first I wanted to remind you of a couple of things. All right. The second part. For this, if you need to hear it one more time, let me know. Let me turn this up. Ooh.
I see. And how often do extreme weather events happen?
That's hard to answer, but generally, a few extreme events are expected every year. Actually, I should say a few extreme events were expected every year.
What do you mean?
Well, extreme weather events are becoming more common. We might feel this from watching the news. For example, we often see stories about strong storms or big floods, but this is not just a feeling, it's actually happening. The science is clear.
That sounds serious. So what's the cause?
Why are extreme weather events happening more? The most likely reason is climate change. A hotter climate leads to warmer summers, but also heavier rain, colder winters, more storms, and so on. How can we fix it? One way would be to produce clean energy.
Thank you. We'll hear more from Dr. Rivera right after these messages.
Anybody need to hear it one more time? Nobody? Okay. A few extreme weather events happen every year. Extreme weather events are becoming more common, and news stories often discuss big floods or strong storms. Extreme weather is probably happening more because of climate change, and to fix the problem, humans need to produce clean energy. Okay, so we're gonna finish here and make a couple of announcements or reminders. So let me do something first.